Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Visionary Leaders Podcast. I'm Aisha Harley, one of the founders, and we're thrilled to have you here. Please join us every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time as we explore all things wellness, essential oils, and Doterra. If you miss an episode, catch up anytime on YouTube, Apple Podcast, or Spotify. And stay connected with us by signing up for our newsletter and text reminders at www.hellovisionary.life. Today, we have our Oils A to Z call, and we're excited to welcome Ariana Harley along with our esteemed healthcare practitioners, Louise Rose, naturopathic doctor, Mika Carew, naturopathic doctor and licensed acupuncturist, and Will Wan, licensed acupuncturist. Together, they will guide us through an insightful exploration of Gardenia, the oil of gentleness, and we also realized it's the oil of friendship as well. So, Ariana, I'm going to pass the call on over to you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I will get our presentation loaded if you are joining us here on Zoom. We've got some gorgeous pictures of gardenia flower if you're listening to the podcast. I think most people are familiar with gardenia or have seen it, but if you have not, it's a gorgeous white flower. And I love that I first learned of it as the oil of pure gentleness, which just sang so true to me with gardenia, and also the oil of friendship. So let's go ahead and dive on in. So a little bit of history about gardenia. Gardenia is native to South China and Japan, and has been used historically in these areas for a very long time. I have a gardenia plant in my garden. The one that I have has these kind of shiny leaves, and they're deep green, and then you get a beautiful white blossom. But there's actually 250 different types of gardenia on the globe. It is known historically, perfumers have used it for a long time, so very valuable. And like our jasmine, like our rose, like a lot of our flowers, it takes, I didn't find how many gardenia blossoms, or petals, but it takes an enormous amount of plant material to source the oil. So it's incredibly treasured and sacred. You just think about how much energy it goes into producing probably just one bottle of this oil. Our gardenia right now is available. It is not always available, so if you don't have it yet, I highly recommend ordering it. It's in our holiday catalog, and there's a gorgeous lotion as well. Um, let's see here. It's also historically, white gardenia has been associated with love, with devotion, with trust, with purity, with friendship. I love using language. There's a idea of the language of flowers, and historically as well, flowers have been given as a way of communicating, right? As a way of speaking to one another without words. And so that's how you would bring in gardenia. And as I mentioned, here's a picture of our lotion and the oil. We were just before the call started talking about the gardenia lotion. It is a really nice consistency. I like that it's a little more thick. The smell is gorgeous. I am just loving it. My sister, who is very picky about her lotions, was saying she was loving it. And then, of course, we have the gardenia, as I mentioned, and this one is in a 10 milliliter roll-on, and it is diluted in fractionated coconut oil. And then I'm going to hand the mic over. We always divide our calls up into body, mind, and spirit. And it's another way to speak of our emotional uses, our physical uses, our energetic uses. And then after that, we're going to move into the traditional Chinese um, perspectives of using gardenia with Will. And so Louise, go ahead and let's hear about how would we use this lovely, lovely oil?
Beautiful, thank you. Um, well, just a reminder is that we're looking at these individual oils sort of through all these different lenses. And so there's a lot of overlap in how the plant recognizes and works with human cells and human emotions and human health and wellness. So I always like to recognize that these are not hard and fast divisions, especially with an oil like this, which we see really affecting the nervous system and the mental and emotional space and the consequences of that on our physical wellness. So one of the ways that I learn about oils is through this lens called fragrance energetics, which refers to just how the fragrance moves our energy, our chi, our blood, our lymph, and then what's the downstream effects of that. So gardenia is part of this family in fragrance energetics that we call the euphorics. So no surprise there. If you're smelling gardenia right now, you probably can say, oh, of course, it's a euphoric. It just lifts me out of my suffering a little bit. Other oils that are in that category would be like neroli, magnolia, jasmine, osmanthus. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but you get the feel of it. And this category has a lot of the similar characteristics in how they're beneficial for us. We find they're soothing for the skin, calming for the skin, and restorative for the skin. So we have a long history of use of these flowers and these plant oils in our beauty products and our cosmetics and in our perfumery. And we know that fragrance has an immediate effect on our limbic system in our brain. So we see downstream effects of hormone balance, regulating heart rhythms and blood pressures, calming and relaxing the nervous system. So our muscles, tight muscles can relax. We find some people benefit in using gardenia to get in the mood for lovemaking. And of course, when we feel soft and relaxed and held and cared for and in a state of euphoria, of course our heart rate is going to regulate and we're going to be open to connecting with loved ones like that. So that in a nutshell sums up what I know about gardenia from the physical aspect. And I'm really excited to hear what others have to share about gardenia. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. So speaking to the emotional uses, so if you are not looking at our presentation, on my slide, I have a picture of Billie Holiday, who was very well known for wearing gardenia in her hair. So when I think of gardenia, it brings to mind Billie. And what I love about fragrance is it does the same thing in our psyche, right? So we have a smell and it will take us right back. It hits that limbic part of the brain and it will take us back into time. It will help us to, it's like a time travel machine, right? There is a smell of rose lotion that my great grandmother had. And when I smell that specific rose, I am in her bathroom looking at the bottle of rose lotion that I would use as a child. I can see it vividly. And I love the association of gardenia with Billie Holiday because her voice reminds me of gardenia. We were speaking of the sweetness with a little bit of spice, with a little bit of lemon, right? So I love also incorporating sound. So for emotional uses of gardenia, why would we want to use this? And Louise did a wonderful job of speaking about the fragrance energetics. The floral oils are known in a motion as a rocking motion. So imagine a mother rocking her baby. Imagine a parent or a loved one when you bring your child's chest to your heart, and we know in psychology that when we can regulate one another's nervous system. So that's what a mother does with her baby, is she's actually the nervous system of her young baby. And by hearing the heartbeat, by feeling the energy, we can help one another to come back into regulation after times of stress. And so I invite you to bring these oils in to do the same thing. If you need a calming, like a big hug from your mother, or if the mother figure is triggering for you, just a friend or a loved one, someone who is holding you and keeping you safe, this is the idea of gardenia. It's going to help promote relaxation. So if you do have it, I would invite you as I speak to rub some right now into your palms of your hands. And although I saw a lot of people putting it on, actually remembering to take the time to deeply inhale and actually really smell that aroma, and exhale, and do that 3 times, giving yourself some time and space to actually experience all of the benefits of gardenia. This would be a great oil to keep in your purse or your pocket for occasional stress. Gardenia, I was reading, is really great for helping lift brain fog. It's uplifting and calming the body and mind. Um, and then I wanted to read to you, the last 2 things I wrote were from this book. It's called Essential Emotions. And I chose in our last 2 sessions or last session as well, to read from this book. And the reason why is many of you have this book. If you don't, it's really, really phenomenal. If you are interested in the emotional uses of essential oils, I have found it to be incredibly on point. But gardenia is a new oil to us. And so many of you who have this book still might not have gardenia. So I wanted to share, when I was reading this, it just seemed perfect. And Josie and I were talking about how Doterra has this beautiful timing down, where there's these oils that they are released to us and become available. When I sit with the oil and I use the oil, I'm like, this is the perfect medicine for this time and space of human existence. And I felt like this with gardenia when I was reading this. So go ahead and take a listen. Gardenia has a sweet, calming scent that reassures troubled hearts, as well as a light-hearted presence that revives and uplifts the soul. Its aroma drifts deeper and deeper into a person to coax out whatever is hindering your inner peace. Gardenia asks individuals to release discord and to choose love. It reminds them that they can always start anew with purer intentions and with acts of greater kindness. Gardenia encourages individuals to be more approachable and friendly. It invites them to reach out and sincerely care for and include others. It asks individuals to extend a helping hand or to offer emotional refuge for those in need. It reminds them that moving outside of their comfort zones to be neighborly and compassionate will help ease the silent epidemic of loneliness. Gardenia teaches that life is sweeter when we share one another's burdens. Gardenia fosters forgiveness and cooperation. Humans have the unfortunate tendency to judge and be overly critical of one another. It asks individuals to soften towards one another's mistakes, to overcome perceived barriers, and to transcend misunderstandings. It facilitates emotional safety by encouraging individuals to forgive, to evolve, and to genuinely give each other the benefit of the doubt. Gardenia's message is to reopen to people all around who need a little love, a little encouragement to help them on their way. Gardenia helps individuals become more secure in themselves so they have an increased capacity and a healthier connection to offer to one another. As a result, to their own inner healing they can create deeper, more stable relationships with others. It also teaches individuals how to appreciate and wholeheartedly embrace true friendship. Gardenia encourages them to celebrate the joys friendship brings, while also being willing to walk through the sorrows and the storms of life arm in arm. And I just wanted, thanks for listening to that. I know it was a bit long, but I just felt like, wow, using this oil, couldn't we use a little more love, a little more kindness in this world right now, a little more humanity, and a little more friendship? So love Gardenia's message, bringing that. And then I'm going to transfer over the mic to Mika, and she's going to talk about the energetic and uses of Gardenia for spirit, which I'm sure there will probably be some overlap.
Yes. Oh, gardenia, so sweet, so soft. Let me tell you what I got when I was meditating with gardenia. I'm a soothing balm. Isn't that great?
Mhm.
Gardenia, I'm a soothing balm. I bring sweet relief when you are worried and have stress. I can lift your vibration when you feel physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually stuck. If you feel sluggish in your body or you feel congested, use me. If you feel anxious and overwhelmed, use me. I'm a beautiful, sweet balm for your nervous system. And then I got, so we can do this together. So after I usually meditate, then I'll look in the books, and see, let's see. And then we'll, with Louise and Ariana and Will, this all comes together. So what I got is to put gardenia on a certain point, pericardium 6. So I'm going to show you where that is. And pericardium is the sac, physically, it's a sac that covers the heart. So it's the heart sac. In Chinese medicine, it's called the heart protector. So what happens over time if there's stress or there's trauma or there's fear is the heart protector physically, the pericardium gets like like that, and it needs to soften. And so a way to soften and open to, like what Dr. Louise said and Ariana, to soften and expand into love and kindness and more of that and be okay with that, you can put gardenia on pericardium 6. So I'm going to tell you where that is. And then in this book, Gifts of the Essential Oils, it's called, if you're not watching, but it's called Gifts of the Essential Oils. And it's by Adam Bartlett, Vanessa Jean Boscaro Evans. But anyway, Gifts of the Essential Oils, second edition. And where pericardium, so there's a little practice at the bottom of page 88. How you find pericardium 6 is to take your 3 fingers, index, middle, and ring finger, place it on the index finger on the wrist crease, and where your ring finger falls, yep, you got it, Aisha. Just 3 though, not your pinky. Yep, just like that. Yes. Okay. Then where your ring finger falls, go right into the middle of we can post a picture too, middle of your forearm. So in between the tendons there, it's where the point where if you get nauseous or they, seasickness, you get the seasickness bands. They show you where to put that. This is the exact same point. Then you're going to place right at where the ring finger lands, then you're going to place your finger right there, and that's pericardium 6. That and you're going to dig in there to feel in between the tendons. So even if the tendons are really tight, then you know that your pericardium channel needs to be softened. So let's see, Aisha, yes. Nope, your ring finger. If you can describe it another way, Will, just let me know. Yeah, that's it, Josie. Yeah, ta-da. Now let's place, yes, everyone's got it. So let's go ahead and place gardenia on that point. And you don't have to be very specific. You could also just take gardenia and roll it up your forearm. Okay. And then you could place your forearms together to really get it, or just rub it. You know, Dr. Josie does that. Gardenia has the magical ability to stimulate the higher heart chakra and flood it with greater acceptance of the diversity that makes up humanity. Anoint your higher heart chakra with gardenia, which we're doing with pericardium 6, and then lightly tap it repeatedly as you affirm. Although I have experienced pain in the past, I now choose to treat myself and all others with compassion, kindness, and love. And then we're going to repeat it 3 times. Although I have experienced pain in the past, I now choose to treat myself and all others with compassion, kindness, and love. Although I have experienced pain in the past, I now choose to treat myself and all others with compassion, kindness, and love. That's what I have. So that's from on page 88, Gifts of the Essential Oils.
And if you don't have that book, I highly recommend it. It also comes with a set of cards, and there's some really beautiful affirmations, and the art's really lovely. So thank you, Mika. And I am so excited. Will Wan is going to talk to us about the traditional Chinese uses of gardenia. So take it away, Will. And I just brought us back so we could see one another's faces because I figured that was kind of nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, gardenia in Chinese medicine, we actually call it the happiness fruit. We use the different parts of gardenia, from the seed or the fruits, the husk, the root, the leaf, and flower, of course. So again, I always look at plants from my lens of Chinese medicine. So to look at it from the flavor, the temperature, and then what types of meridians that the herb can go into tells a lot of the story for the plant. So gardenia is, of course, very bitter. It's also cold and it's drying. It's a unique quality in this sort of Chinese medicine aspect where it can be drying and cooling at the same time. Typically, when you have an herb that's drying, it's very warm or even hot. So the nature of gardenia has a unique action. So the meridians or channels that gardenia goes into would be heart, lung, pericardium triple burner, liver, and stomach. So when we look at these particular, again, functions related to the meridians, the heart, of course, is the fire element. It has this flavor of bitter, of course. And so it has a very also connection to the liver and gallbladder. So I'll talk about that in a little bit, but I wanted to talk about Gardenia's actions in a formula. So it clears heat, it clears dampness, it drains fire. So we talk about fire in Chinese medicine uh, as sort of this, obviously, this robust energy, right? This expansive energy. It often relates, especially when you look at it with correlation to the liver and the gallbladder, as this emotion of anger, this emotion of eruption, like a volcano. And it can become very overwhelming, obviously, this energy. So it's how this gardenia works at this level of the liver and the gallbladder, of this sort of energy of anger, frustration, is literally, if you think about it, the anger component is this like, why can't you hear me, right? This notion of I'm being ignored. I'm not being listened to. No one's paying attention to me, right? I'm not being seen. So you get angry. So that sort of stifling nature of this emotion, gardenia is really quite the herb for this particular emotion of this robust, expansive energy of anger from the liver gallbladder. It can really quelch that bubbling anger, that it can really remove and clear it out. We call it draining that fire, draining that toxic heat out of the urine. So we utilize gardenia, 籽 in Chinese, to clear out this heat out of the lower jiao or the bladder, kidney. It can also clear heat out of the middle jiao or the middle part of our body, whereas we have, like, as examples, liver, gallbladder stuckness is in the form of jaundice. So you think of when somebody becomes jaundiced, their liver is not really working optimally, either through different particular causes, but in terms of the coloration of the skin becomes more yellow, or the conjunctiva or the eyes become more yellowish. So we look at, again, gardenia. It actually has a color yellow, and it's even used in the food industry as a colorant, very similar to how carthamus or honghua or saffron, excuse me, is used as a colorant for that really bright yellow color. So again, the nature of yellow is for the earth in terms of the element, but again, the nature of how gardenia works is to clear out this damp heat, this heat that's overly suppressing our body in a way. A couple other things in terms of gardenia we use a lot in formulations for, again, this sort of extensive heat in the blood, this jaundice presentation. We even call this notion of where there's obstructed urination called damp heat stranguria, where it helps to free up this sort of blockage. So in conclusion, gardenia, I think, again, is what we have all mentioned in a timely fashion for the times. If you are feeling angry, if you are feeling frustrated, either at the global, national, or within your community level, to find gardenia to support you in this way of helping to keep the flow of your emotions, but also the nature of your body, to help with this spiritual component that everyone's talking about. When you look at compassion, when you look at kindness, these are qualities that are skillful means. We can obviously be very easily attracted to our frustrations, easily triggered by our anger at this time. But knowing that a skillful person, a skillful human being can redirect and reframe and see where can I find the flow, right? Where can I always be in a place of finding this middle point, what we call in Chinese the Zong Dao. Zong Dao is middle path or middle way. And I think gardenia is a very timely, again, essential oil that can really help us during this period to find ourselves coming back to our middle way, our middle path with compassion, with kindness, and go from there.
Thank you, Will. I love what you said about the element of anger. And I was thinking of a child, but it could be an adult too. But, sometimes when children are tired and say you're having a conversation with another adult and the kid really wants your attention and they get more and more angry because you're not paying attention to them. And I love this medicine of seeing people. It's like that I see you. I hear you, because that anger that builds of I'm not being seen, I'm not being heard, I'm not being recognized. And it feels as if we can start seeing each other and honoring each other. I see you. I see you're angry. And then that kindness and the compassion can come in, right? Like just
Right.
like a parent can say, all right, I see that you're frustrated. We can calm. We can calm.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you. It just feels like the best oil right now for our times. I love it. And today, I think that pretty much wraps up our call. I know, Aisha, I have a slide if you do want me to pull it up, but we have an
I have
announcement.
some things, Ariana.
Oh,
Back
great.
to, yeah.
And we could have taken some questions too, because we
Yeah.
had just a shorter presentation today.
So I just want to be more active. Like what we could do with gardenia is roll it on the right side, right below our rib cage on the right side. That's where our liver is. So help with liver filtration, help with soothing the liver, soothing the emotions. Just roll that on your right side of your liver. Also, it doesn't have to, I know that, Will, you were talking about like the extreme of jaundice and when people have liver congestion and fire rising, but also there's something um, called Mama Hoo Hoo, which I teach a lot in Qigong. Well, I learned that word from Will, um, where the liver and gallbladder are not communicating because there's some kind of they're just not flowing. There's not enough flow. There's not enough filtration. So the person will feel mama hoo hoo, which is, I don't know. Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? Do I want to eat this? Do I want to eat that? How are you feeling today? Oh, mama hoo hoo. Like Will said it yesterday. Oh, mama hoo hoo. And so when you're indecisiveness, that's a really good it's pointing you that you need some help with your liver gallbladder filtration. So you could use gardenia to prevent yourself from getting it more congested to get to the point of liver fire rising. Get it? So we're going to prevent. So roll the gardenia. If you're feeling mama hoo hoo, then you can all use that word. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, Will, but that's how I hear it when it's coming out of your mouth. Roll that on your right side of your body. Okay, so you could use gardenia that way. I wanted to say one more thing. Oh well, it'll come back around. Thank you.
Mika. The term means horse, tiger, tiger, literally. So you're not sure if you're a horse or a tiger. They're very unique animals, right? Obviously, but the feeling that you're having is, I'm not really sure.
That is so cool. I don't know if anybody's into astrology, but I think all Libras could use Mama Hoo Hoo because they're known for being indecisive. So I'm like, oh, yes, more work with Gardenia and more work on that point.
Speaking of astrology, I'm just curious, Dr. Mika, Dr. Will, or Dr. Louise, or anyone, today is an 11-11-11. I don't know if anyone gets into numerology or any of that, if there's any wisdom or insights to be shared about that. Maybe not, huh?
I'll calculate it really quickly and let you know.
Okay. In the meantime, while you're calculating, I know Marty has a quick announcement for us. Marty, you want to come on and share that?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I wanted to just let you know a couple of fun things that are coming with Doterra. You may be aware on the holiday collection right now, including the Gardenia, that a lot of things are selling out. And so they have less than 50% inventory today on most all of the products, and the bubble thing is gone. But the big news is, and it's kind of a hint, but if history serves us right, starting Monday morning next week, which will be the 18th of November, there should be some really special deals coming from Doterra. So I want you to just pay attention to your email and your announcements, your team pages and that kind of thing, and watch for some fun, special holiday gratitude offers that may be coming up starting next week.
Marilyn put in the chat, BOGO, question mark, question mark, question
Possible.
mark.
Possible. So yeah, so get ready.
It's a
also
product
word.
season for shopping for holidays.
I also wanted to give everyone a heads up. It will start in January, and I watched a little video on it today. But doTERRA is also updating their loyalty rewards system, and it's really great. They're going to make it possible to look at your orders in 3-month increments, and then it's a much easier way to keep the products that you want consistently. And then say you want a bottle of lemon, you use lemon every month, but maybe next month you have enough lemon, so you just put that on hold. And then say maybe in your order you're saying, oh, I would like to try the clove, but I don't want clove to be repeated on my loyalty reward order every month. I probably wouldn't use that much clove yet. And so you can have an option of adding the clove, keeping your vitamin pack, and then not getting the clove again next month, but getting the vitamin pack again next month. So I don't know if you're following me, but it basically just really helps you streamline your orders to make it more simple, to not accidentally get products that you don't want. Maybe you ended up with too much clove, right? So stay tuned. They have made some videos about it, and again, that's coming in January, so it's still a little bit away, but I think it will make the shopping experience much just nicer. So I was grateful to hear that too.
Dr. Mika, do you have
Yeah,
some
I
number
do.
wisdom?
11-11-11. So that turns to 6, but then goes to 3. And then in Chinese medicine, in the I Ching, 3, flow, abundance, expansion. So what a great time to use Gardenia today, 11-11-11, for the flow, the abundance. And it's all about where you're putting your attention, right? So place your attention on it's the number 3 or multiples of 3. That's why I'm Mika 369 on my email account. Because of that flow, that abundance. So it's a 3. It turns into a 3. So abundance, flow, expansion, upliftment, joy.
Perfect. I love it.
Thanks for asking.
Well, thank you for that. Is there anything else that anybody wants to share about Gardenia, Marty?
No, I don't necessarily want to just share about Gardenia, but I just want to say a thank you to all of you in the Visionary Leaders Group that have included our Into Oils team on these calls and the recordings and the podcasts. These are remarkable presentations about oils. I love the multiple dimensions that you all bring to this for our group. And, you know, these are all new things for us. So whether we're listening to this live, we're listening to recording, or we're going back into the archives, this is such a gift that you all offer in sharing your wisdom and your insights and your intuition and what you're sensing about the oils and products. And so I just wanted to say thank you so much for including us. It really is very purposeful and meaningful. And I'm thrilled for this connection that we've started to create. So thanks.
Yay, likewise. And you are actually going to be teaching next week, our business call. You want to share a little bit about what you'll be sharing next week?
Yeah, I'm actually going to take some time next week and go through the doTERRA compensation plan and maybe do a bit of a reminder for people, and also maybe some new ahas for people on the 6 ways you can earn money with doTERRA. And I love to, I'm somebody who likes to look at details and then create sort of headline thoughts out of it so that we can look at the strategy behind why we focus on one aspect or another. It's such a flexible plan that offers something for everybody to share oils with others and earn a little money to make their products, or earn a lot of money to make to get their products and an income. So I'll talk about that next week, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with everyone.
Perfect. I'm looking forward to that. Well, anything else before we wrap up?
I just want to say a warm thank you to our community. I really love the space of all of us coming together with our likeness, with our differences, to create community. And so thank you all for showing up here. It means a lot and it's important. And I'm really grateful. So I just wanted to say a warm thank you to everyone. And Marty, we love having, like, your team it's such a great combination. So a warm thanks to you and all you bring as well, and your team as well.
Yes, I will echo that. Thank you all so much. It's such a pleasure. So much wisdom, so much love, so much connection here. We are so grateful. And with that, we hope you have a wonderful week. As I've shared before, just in case you have any questions, this podcast will get uploaded on Wednesday. Wednesday at 10 a.m. is when our newsletter goes out. And the podcast is on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast under Visionary Leaders. If you have a moment to give us a thumbs up or even a short review, that really helps us with just broadcasting out in the world and is really appreciated. And if you have any questions, you can also contact any of us directly. So have a beautiful day, and we'll look forward to seeing you all next week. Bye-bye.